Hi, I'm Colleen Derrick with Swaggers Insurance Services. I'm a faith-based financial coach, a financial planner, and I do, lots of stuff that bring people and their money to a place of functionality. This month, our course is about doing the journey. It's titled Not a Race. It's only a race if you choose to race. It's not a competition. It's only a competition if you choose to compare. So why don't you let yourself off the hook and just do the journey? Last month, we spoke about reset, which was assessing where you're at, taking time to figure out whether your foundation is what you want it to be, if it's serving you. We revisited a little bit about sowing and reaping from our May and April's journey, about doing life well, finishing well, making sure that where you end up wasn't all about just getting there, but it was about doing the journey. So this month we want to take some of those concepts that we've been building in and that you've been learning about. And if you haven't done them, I would encourage you to go back and watch those videos and then come back to this one, because this one takes a lot of those concepts and just starts to apply them a little bit to cash flow. Ron Blue of the Ron Blue Institute has this Live, Give, Grow curriculum, which is fantastic. It talks about there being 4 uses for your money in your life right now. You can use it for lifestyle. You can give it. You can owe it, either principal or interest or taxes. You can grow it. Those are the 4 things you can do with money. You can dress it up 9 ways to Sunday, but when you distill it, that's what it is. We're not going to be going into a lot of his teachings, but more using these as some principles to flesh out some basic steps that you can hopefully easily use to inspire you to find your contentment, to usher in your peace, and to release your being loved and loving others. To live. Life is not a race, but indeed it is a journey. When we apply that to food, healthy food bought from the grocery store helps you eat well, stay on a budget, and turn eating into an engaging part of life. Fast food, out the window. You're being robbed. You're being robbed of nutrition. You're being robbed of money, and you're being robbed of relationship. You're being robbed of savoring and enjoying a wonderfully fulfilling part of life. Now, you do need food to live. Maslow's hierarchy, right? Food, shelter, clothes, fellowship. You can think about what you would enjoy eating, find a recipe, go and get the groceries for that, bring them home, and then make that meal, sit down, and enjoy it. What a hugely different process than grabbing unhealthy food, chowing it down without paying too much attention of it, paying too much for it, and then going about your life, rather than making this an integral part of your life. Think about engaging the sight as your and your mind. You're seeing a recipe, you're seeing a picture of what you're going to make. You're like, oh, that looks good. That looks good, right? And you're thinking, what's involved in that? And you probably visit with people at the grocery store and you look at all the different colors, you see all the different textures, you're making choices, you're engaged in this process. And then you come home and you get to touch it and you get to feel what each of your ingredients feels like. You get to smell the change in smell between the raw ingredient and the cooked ingredient and the blended ingredients. You get to hear the rustle of the lettuce, the snap of a carrot, the sizzle of a pan. All of a sudden, you have engaged all of your senses into a process instead of maybe having a few taste buds catch some salt on the way down your throat. What a dynamically different experience. We know that families that have at least one meal together a day do better. They thrive. If you're living with somebody, Maybe invite them to participate in this experience with you. Not only then are you fueling your body, but you're fueling your relationships. Such a small change has such a huge impact on the quality of your health, quality of your mind, and the quality of your home life. Rent and mortgage. When you choose a home that meets your needs within your budget, it enhances your life while fostering peace and rest. Too much space encourages lots of extra stuff that all costs money and energy and time to maintain and store. When you're going on a journey, you want to be able to bend over and smell the flowers. You want to be reach up and maybe pick a berry. If you are carrying all of this crap on your back, each of these actions become very hard, precarious, and tiresome. So get some of it off of there. When you have the right amount of space, you're able to relax and enjoy being in it rather than constantly maintaining it or presenting it. Have your home be your haven and pick the right home to do that in. When it's within your budget, you then have the freedom to not have to work more hours to afford it, and you can spend time in it. And when you're in it, rather than worrying about how you're going to pay for it, you can just enjoy it nurturing you and feeding your soul, because you're safe there. You're comfortable there. You can rest there. You can engage in relationship there. Personal needs. This is an area where people tend to spend what's left rather than being intentional about what will enhance the journey rather than derail it. So again, if your personal needs and your toys and your treats are excessive, you're going to have to buy a bigger place or rent more space to store it all in. So not only did you spend the money on the stuff, but now you have to spend money on maintaining it, and you have to spend money on storing it. That's a lot of money. So if that item is bringing you a lot of joy or serving you on your journey, great. If not, that is weighing you down and siphoning off valuable resources. So cut it loose. Figure out what your lifestyle cap is, where you are living your best life to release your best self, and cap it there. Don't go beyond that. And when you have more money than you need to reach your lifestyle cap, great. Feed one of those other pieces of our pie that we talked about. Live, give, grow, right? Don't just keep increasing the wedge of lifestyle when the pie increases. Know what your limit is. Know what your best is. Spend intentionally. Same with transportation. Some vehicles can carry you on the journey and some become the journey. So know yourself. Know what impact you want it to have. If you want the Lamborghini, save up for that. Make sure you can afford the Lamborghini, the maintenance for it, and the insurance for it, and the storage for it. And if that is within your lifestyle cap, wonderful. And if that is delivering joy or helping you on your journey, great. But if it's not, let it go. And don't just keep it spaced there. Bring it back in. You don't need it. It wasn't releasing what you wanted it to. So cut it out. Get your lifestyle cap where it's appropriate, again, for your best life, for your best you. It's okay to have toys and treats. It's good. Build them into your budget, right? Just as a toddler needs boundaries for nap time, we need boundaries for fun stuff. That's called being mature, is recognizing that we have this tendency to live in excess when we have the opportunity, and that it's not really good for us. So put some boundaries in place for yourself. There's a chart below for people that just kind of want a glimpse at what some healthy ratios might look like. Again, I would encourage you to reach out to a financial professional and have somebody who has really spent the time and the energy to research this and flesh out the tools that are really most helpful and learn how to implement this and make it successful. Work with you and be part of your team. Enjoy eating. As our friend the turtle and the tortoise, who is renowned throughout the ages for being hokey, slow and steady wins the race, meandering along while everybody else is racing around doing stuff and they're just making their way through life. We notice that he's chewing on his leafy little green. Could you meander through life, chewing on your leafy green, being content? Take time to enjoy eating. It helps with digestion and relationships. Turning mealtime into a relationship activity encourages you to make good food and good conversation. Here we see our turtle with his little home under the rocks. Home sweet home. When 1/3, or in cases sometimes more, of your income is being spent on your home, it makes sense to spend time there. Consider using it for a retreat as opposed to a storage unit for your stuff or a status symbol. How about you really consider making that home a place where you can usher in peace for you and for those you invite to share it with. Hospitality is not a lost art. You can be a haven for others when you're intentional about making your home a haven for you. Budget for buddies. We do life better together. Now, here's our two little turtles, and I can just imagine what they're saying to each other, because I think about things like that. And my image here is this little guy over here had such a great day, and he's telling this guy over here. This guy is just listens like, wow, that is a really cool, neat day. This is what life can be when we have time to connect with others. Consider signing off the rat race and make room for relationships. When you enjoy the journey with great people, you don't need to race to something better. When you allow people to love on you, and when you love on other people, when we're sharing those special moments, imagine yourself sitting in a comfy chair around the fire pit. You got your nice cup of tea or hot chocolate or coffee in your hand, or your apple cider. And maybe you have a marshmallow roaster in this one. Maybe you're doing s'mores or banana boats. Maybe you've just got some spits that you're chewing on and trying to aim into the fire pit. Those are the times we often don't want to end, and we're sad when it's late and we have to break up the party. Why? Why aren't we racing to all these other things in our life that are supposedly so important? Because maybe they're not really so important. You have resonated in that moment with what really matters. And the rest of life just kind of fades away. Listen to what that moment is telling you. You are loved and you are loving, and it is good. You can't buy that, and you miss out on it when you're busy chasing whatever it is we're chasing. So slow down, you move too fast. You got to make the moment last, just kicking down the cobblestones. Do, feeling groovy. That song has lasted throughout decades because the principle is sound. Slow down. Kick down the cobblestones. Feel groovy. Next week, we're going to talk about giving. But let's not rush into it. As you see the post this week, you're going to recognize these pictures as they come up on the post this week, for It's Not a Race. And I hope that you watch for them. I hope that you have patience with building our phrase. And I hope that you find the time to, again, find your own contentment. Usher in peace. And celebrate and engage in loving. Have a great week. And we'll see you next week for week number 2. We talk about giving.